All right, hello, Chick Chatters. So we are back with another story of the week, one of our favorite segments, and this week is pet themed, as you can see by my kitty ears.
And Prince is ready to hear the story.
Django's downstairs, but
we got one dog.
We got one dog, and we got the cat. And actually, the story revolves around a cat. So this was posted in Relationship Advice. This is a Reddit story, and it's from 3 years ago. It's called My 22 Male Vegan Girlfriend, 21 Female, Wants Me to Get Rid of My Cat. So, let us begin. I can't believe I'm about to type this, but here we go. I've been dating my girlfriend for 7 months. She's amazing, and we're super compatible in a lot of ways. She is an outspoken vegan, and she made it clear at the start of our relationship that it was important for her that any potential partner had similar cruelty-free values. Me, already being a pescatarian, had little difficulty transitioning to a fully plant-based diet. My girlfriend was proud of me for going cruelty-free, and everything seemed well. We became the vegan couple on our college campus. Then there's my cat, Mittens. I've had her for 3 years, and I adore her. She's such a sweet and cuddly cat. However, my girlfriend was always a little apprehensive around her, and she blamed it on not growing up around cats. After a while, we sort of made a tacit agreement to mostly hang out at her apartment instead of mine, so Mittens never really came up again in conversation. Fast forward through all the quarantine stuff, my girlfriend and I have spent a lot of time together, and during this pandemic, we started talking about taking our relationship to the next level. We began seriously looking at either buying a new apartment together or having one of us move in with the other. However, after a lot of talking and planning, my girlfriend sat me down and dropped a bombshell on me. She said that with this next phase of the relationship, she did not see a future with me unless I was willing to give away Mittens. She said that she believed owning a cat is unconscionable for vegans because they hunt mice and eat meat, and because the very act of owning a pet is a violation of vegan principles. I was stunned. I told her that I was absolutely not willing to give up Mittens, and she had no choice but to eat meat. So I was reducing harm as much as possible by buying reputable brands of cat food. Plenty of vegans own cats and think along the same lines. My girlfriend got mad and said, "How much flesh does your cat eat? How many animals died to make all that food? Would you be okay with that being human flesh?" I got mad and told my girlfriend that I would have really appreciated her telling me about her cat opinions before we got serious. She went on and on about cats killing animals. I ended the conversation there. I was so angry that I left my girlfriend's apartment, and I snuggled with Mittens when I got home. Although the mood soured a bit when my girlfriend sent me a link to a Reddit thread advocating for the extinction of domestic cats. Sigh. I think it goes without saying that I'm not going to get rid of my cat. However, it pains me to think that an otherwise wonderful relationship could be ending because of a difference in ideology. I don't even really understand where my girlfriend is coming from because, like I said, a lot of vegans own cats. Now, granted, cat ownership can be a controversial topic in vegan circles, and I probably would not have gotten a cat if I had been vegan at the time. But I have Mittens now, and she deserves to eat. Yes, I researched vegan cat food, but Mittens has some digestive issues, and my vet strongly cautions against it. I've talked to some of my vegan and vegetarian friends, and they all think my girlfriend has lost her mind. Some have suggested that it's not about Mittens, and my girlfriend just wants an excuse to end it. They probably don't understand why I haven't broken up with her yet, but I care about my girlfriend too much. I'd hate for this bizarre curveball to be the end of a beautiful thing. I want to try to work something out. Where do I even go from here? I will not compromise on Mittens, and I don't think my girlfriend will compromise either.
I'm shook. I know. Do you know, though, have you ever seen, gosh, I wish I knew the comedian. There's a stand-up comedian. I think it's somebody on Netflix. That doesn't narrow it down at all, though. But there's like a bit in the special where the guy talks about, I think, an ex-girlfriend or something that was a vegan and had a cat. And he goes through the whole like vegan cat diet thing, and it's actually hilarious.
You will, after this show, go on your phone and check out #VeganCat. And you will be treated to a collection of pets that look like they live in a house with a gas leak. Every cat is like, when is the real food coming?
I feel like I'm biased because I'm influenced by what that guy said, and he ripped into vegan cat owners. And I don't know, like what. Anyways, as far as the question goes, I don't know how they're going to move forward. Like getting rid of the cat is a big ask. Obviously, the cat cannot turn into a vegan. I'm not going to go there with the vegan cat thing. So I don't know. I mean, I don't see where the relationship moves forward unless they agree together to not live together for an extended period of time, like until the cat lives its natural life. But it sounds like this person is even drawing a hard line of like, I won't date a cat owner.
I kind of agree with the OP when they said to them, you know, you should have told me then about your strong opinions then, because it seemed like they worked out some kind of agreement where she wasn't around, which I think was one red flag. Like, I mean, obviously she wasn't coming around the apartment.
Right.
So you had to assume that at some point she was gonna maybe ask you to get rid of your cat. I mean, that would be what I would think. I mean, not saying that she could get rid of it, maybe like rehome it to a family member or just somebody close to you or something, because she's never been around this cat. It's not like she's been in the apartment. You've been hanging out at her place. You guys don't hang out around your cat. So she don't like this cat. It's very apparent she don't like the cat.
Right.
Now, I do not agree with her really asking to remove it, but also I have not watched this vegan thing, and I also don't really understand the core. Like, I'm kind of where he's at. Like, I don't really get where she's coming from. Like, all animals, a lot of them eat other animals. I mean, tigers, lions, bears. We can't really.
It's part of the circle of life.
Yeah, we can't.
I can appreciate humans having a brain and saying, whoa, we probably created too many humans, so we probably all can't eat as much meat as we all think we should be eating. I can appreciate that, but it's part of the circle of life that things consume other things. And like cats and dogs eat meat, and so do humans. Sorry. I mean, people can choose to be vegetarians, but humans have been eating meat since humans. Maybe I'm an idiot. I don't know.
Well, I know that being vegan has a lot of amazing health benefits. And I know a lot of people, when they switch to vegan, like see a lot of changes in their health and fitness and all types of things. I know there's a lot of amazing benefits with being vegan. You just can't control though. I mean, it's one thing when you're talking about humans, right? Where you're asking your partner, you want your partner to be vegan too, because you want to share the same values. You can't control a being that you can't even really communicate with. Like, animals are going to eat other animals, and there's just nothing you can really do about that. Okay, so when it comes to cat and dog food, they're kind of getting the leftover from the meat that the humans are getting. Like, they're not really getting like straight up great, amazing, freshly caught meat. Like, that's for the human, and then they get like the cactus, you
Maybe
know,
like the canned salmon that they get. It might not be too far off from like the tuna that we eat, but
right? Like the fish stuff. Like, I mean, I'm not saying that like all animal food is crap, and it's not just meat. They mix in vegetables and other stuff.
What I can't do with this whole thing is, why did this person start a relationship with somebody who had such drastically different things going on in their lifestyle? Like, if you want a certain person who doesn't own animals, or if they do, then their animals are vegan and they're strictly vegan, one, that's demanding a lot on a relationship. That, yikes. But why start a relationship with a person that has a cat if you don't support that? You just don't start the relationship with that person, because now there's going to be hurt feelings in the situation. There's no easy answer to this. Like, there's no answer to this. somebody's going to have to probably end the relationship or get rid of a cat.
Or she's got to give up this idea he has to get rid of the cat or whatever.
Right. The easy answer to this was when you met somebody and you were thinking, oh, I'm attracted to them, but they have a cat, then I should go find someone who doesn't have an animal. That was the only easy answer, was to be responsible with your weird boundaries that you need everyone around you to be exactly like you. That's weird.
That is weird. Yeah, that's a really good point. I noticed that with some people, like not vegans, but just people in general. Like I noticed there are a lot of people like that. Everybody around them needs to be like them and have the same ideas as them, or else they're annoyed and they're upset. Or so
it's just not how we're all humans. Like we're all going to be different in some ways. And I have lots of friends who are vegetarians, and we've never even acknowledge the issue unless they are eating over at my house or something. And even then I already know that they're vegetarians, so I don't that's the only time we acknowledge it. We don't. I mean, Tyler makes jokes sometimes, but I feel like men are dumb in that way.
Well, like you said, we're all human, so we all have different degrees to things. Like I tried being vegan, but I also still got a dog and stuff like that. So I mean, my
requirement of being vegan and all of those things is not that you do not have a pet and they are also in.
Well, that's what this girl said. She said that she also doesn't agree with
that. Is like a really that's a really specific way to look at things.
That's what I'm saying. I think there's different degrees, I guess, to your vegan. I mean, there's some levels who are to everything, I guess. Like there's even with basketball, you could be like a regular, just go out and shoot hoops, or you could be Kobe Bryant. You could be a vegan that just sticks to the dietary, or you could just think that everything, like you gotta stop at, you can't, there's no stopping at nothing. You can't stop at your clothes. You got to look at everything that you do. And I just don't have the patience to look at every little thing and try to analyze where it came from. So
this is like you're saying right now, like this is really extremist when it comes to vegan. Like there's levels to this. And I feel like whenever you're doing anything that's extreme, again, to demand that the people around you also adapt that same extreme way of living is just wild. It's like some kind of strange cult, and like almost, what's the difference? If the person is talking about, some kind of God or some kind of veganism, like they're demanding everyone around them is the same, or they're going to cut them and their pet off. Like, what is this?
I just feel like it's really manipulative to get in a relationship with somebody and then have them fall for you and then be like, okay, now you got to get rid of your cat. Now that we're in this next phase, you got to get rid of your cat. This guy has an attachment to this cat. He's had it for 3 years. You grow such a bond with your animals. Like my dog's only 4. If somebody were to come in my life and be like, let me fall in love with them, and then be like, oh, but you have to get rid of your dog now all of a sudden. No. I think for me, if they didn't like him and want to be around him and we couldn't hang out at my house, I also think I wouldn't be able to really continue a relationship that way, because if that's a deal breaker for me, which it is, that's also a deal breaker for me. I mean, I'd have to have somebody love my dog. And
yeah. Can we talk about like this other person's perspective? Like, why is this person not upset with their partner right now too about this demanding that they get, like, it just seems like it lacks so much empathy for your partner. Like, how can you just demand that they get rid of their pet that they've had longer than you've been dating?
And to be honest, they've already made a lot of changes for you. Like they went from pescatarian, which pescatarians eat fish. So like they went from pescatarian to vegan, which that is a jump. Even if it's not a huge jump, it's still a jump. They still made accommodations for you in their life. They also went around your needs and went to your house and went out of their way every single time. So this way you didn't have to be around their cat. But I also just don't get why the person with the cat thought it was acceptable to be in a relationship with somebody who never came to their house and like didn't want anything to do with their cat to begin with. Because it's not like this girl didn't show no warning signs. This girl did show a few warning signs. She did not want to be around that cat. She didn't come over. She wanted to be around it minimal.
It sounds like there were a few points in this relationship where it should have just ended. And I mean, I don't know. I feel bad for the cat.
Feel bad for the guy, but like he kind of let himself get too deep, I think. Obviously
they both obviously like somehow knew that this wasn't going to be able to move forward any further. I'm frustrated with both of these people.
Well, and here's the thing too. Like, let's say he gets rid of his cat. Now he's just gonna resent her, and like this could come up in arguments later. You know, like you've made him get rid of something he truly loved, and then what if this relationship doesn't work? And then what? You're stuck without a cat. You know, so of course, like that's why he's saying the cat's not really up for discussion.
Yeah.
But since the cat's not up for a discussion, I would just cut the relationship off before you get even deeper. I mean, you're not moved in yet.
What I'm saying, someone's gonna have to break up or lose a cat. And I don't know, my opinion, if it were me, I'm gonna have to break up.
Yeah, me too.
Or we're going to have to come up with some kind of long-term living apart solution. I would be too upset with my partner to want to even move forward at that.
Yeah, me too. Because here's the thing: even if you do everything this girl wants, later on, like how many more things is it going to be to control because of whateverism, whether it's veganism or whatever else? I don't know. It just seems like there's only one person in the relationship that's seeming to having to make all the compromises and having to go out of their way.
Yeah.
I mean, how long do you really want to do that for? That's another thing you got to think about. Like, at least you're not moved in, because once you're moved in and all your stuff's combined and everything, it's a lot harder to get out of those relationships.
Right.
You know, at least she's telling you this before moving in, because you could have been already signed a lease, and then she's like, hey, I need you to get rid of your cat.
No, I could not.
I mean, for me, dude, I would break up with her. Because nobody gonna tell me get rid of my dog, especially if I went vegan for this person. The Google says, is it safe for cats to be vegan? The short answer is no. Cats cannot be vegetarian or vegan. Cats are obligate carnivores, which mean that they need meat in their diet. With the rise in plant-based diets in the UK, many have started to consider altering their pet's diet too. This can be for many reasons, such as environmental, ethical, and health reasons. People do not. You heard that. Cats are carnivores. You can't.
Carnivore is a scientific word. Like, it's just, again, it's part of the circle of life. Like, just leave that alone. I respect if you make that choice for yourself. It's not one that I can make, but I understand that there's so many health benefits and, more importantly, environmental benefits to eating less meat. I totally get that. And I think eating less meat is something that we should all do. But you cannot subject animals to that. That's animal cruelty. It's not okay.
Heck, mate. Although I don't know if that was the issue. I think that was part of her issue, though, is that the cat eats meat. She thinks it's like not productive for a vegan to own a cat because they eat meat.
I'm not going to date somebody that insists that I'm malnourish and mistreat my animal. I'm just not. So I think that person, because the poster is the one who has the cat, right?
So dogs are omnivores. Because some dogs are allergic to some, like, isn't
Prince is allergic to almost all meat. Prince is basically a pescatarian, except he eats lamb. He's not allergic to lamb, and he's not allergic to most fish, but he's allergic to almost all poultry and beef a little bit.
Dogs are omnivores, but cats are carnivores. Cats are solid carnivores, and look at them even in the wild. Like in the wild, you know, look at lions and tigers and
right. That's why they go looking for animals. That's why cats do that. They go looking for smaller animals because they're tiny predators. That's what they are. I don't own a cat because I'm not a cat person. But if I started dating a person who had a cat already, I would know in my mind that I would have to, at some point, see, Django has something to say about this too. But anyways, if I was dating a person that had a cat and I just simply don't have a liking for cats, then I would have to find a way to like that cat. Is there a comment here or an update?
Comment says, she suggested giving it away. It makes no sense whatsoever. Will it consume less meat with another owner? Of course not. It's like boasting about your lack of garbage because you dump it all over your neighbor's yard. You know what?
Facts.
That's a really good point. And I did think that when I first read it. I'm surprised I didn't think about it now, but I did think that when I first read it, like, okay, so when you rehome the cat, it's just going to eat meat there.
Yeah, it still exists. Like, I'm sorry that you have this tiny meat-eating monster in your home, but like that's what your partner chose to have in their life.
And somebody commented under that and said that's what I was thinking. It's not about veganism, it's about control.
Well, it was about control before it even started with the cat. It was about the diet and everything. And honestly, the diet, I don't know if I, again, would want to do that if someone I was dating asked me to, but I can see where that would be an acceptable compromise to make, especially if you're cooking together a lot, just because it makes things easier if you both eat the same types of foods. If you go out to eat with your friends and you want to eat whatever, a steak even, like it should be okay. That if not, then it is about control. My grandma's husband doesn't really eat meat at all. Sometimes he eats fish, but when almost every time my grandma goes out to eat, she orders a burger because she just never cooks them at home. And she'll bring it home, like the leftovers and like it's wild to control your partner like that.
And there's also an edit. So the edit says, wow, this completely blew up while I was asleep. I'm trying to read every comment, but there are a lot. Also, please allow me to take this moment to reiterate that my girlfriend's views are not representative of those held by the wider vegan community. So I don't know if he broke up with her or what. I would like to think that he did one day.
I feel like, did you read that response? Reread that. I feel like the girlfriend woke up, checked the phone, and was like, let me reply to this. Because all this person did was like, oh, yeah, vegans don't all think this way.
Like what celebrities do, like a publicity stunt.
Yeah, like I think this person needs to blink twice if they're being held hostage right now.
You know, maybe the girlfriend really did ask him to have him change the diet, because he did say he asked a doctor. So he obviously was considering it. And I don't think he probably ever would have considered it before.
This poor man.
I'm sure the doctor was like, dude, you could even just Google this. Like, no.
Yeah, we just Googled it.
I think that this girlfriend needs to take a step back and realize, like, you're asking a lot from somebody. I'm sure, like, you know, relationships go both ways when it comes to compromises and sacrifices and stuff. And
not in this one.
Yeah, he's had this cat for 3 years, so this cat's still got another at least 10, I would say, of living. So this cat's not going anywhere anytime soon. So it's either you become okay with this cat or you lose this relationship. And you know what? Maybe the relationship really ain't worth it, because it seems kind of weird and controlling, in my opinion. But
I agree. I think this man will be a lot happier once him and his cat get away from this toxic lady.
And you find somebody who likes cats and
allows you to make your own choices about life. Like that's what a healthy relationship is. Like, not this weird stuff. So this man needs to run take his cat and run
with your cat. Put it on a leash and run with it.
Yeah, run all the way to Joe Rogan and talk about it on your podcast.
Just don't move in. Like, that's the one thing I can't stress enough. Do not move in. Do not sign leases. Do not get stuck in no financial commitment with this girl, because I mean, this is a big deal. And it's not just about veganism, you know, like that commenter said, it is about, like, if she can't make any type of compromises for you, and this is going to be a lot of maintenance for you to keep up in your relationship, you know, is it really worth it?
That's and if this person is controlling them so much about their diet, like, what happens when they move in together and their finances are affected by each other, and now all of a sudden she wants all of his money and she only gives him a budget? Like, who knows where the line is when it comes to this level of control? It's really not healthy. Yeah, this guy needs to put his running shoes on and skedaddle.
And like the other commenter said, this cat's still gonna eat. Still gonna eat meat. It's still alive. Unless she's trying to euthanize the cat, which no. That's a hard no.
Absolutely not.
It's a hard no. This cat's still going to live. It's still going to eat. It's still going to be a cat. There's millions of cats in the world. There's street cats. There's regular cats. There's all types. So you can't stop that. At least this one has a loving home.
It does. And it's not out here probably, like, you know, killing rats on the daily or anything. It's probably being fed, you know, some nice processed food, like you said, made out of stuff that's already, you know, gonna be maybe thrown out or scraps or something. So let the cat live, let your man live, let him eat what he wants, you do what you want. And if you can't do that, then I hope that this man has ran far enough away from you at this point of filming, because that's too much control. It's just way too much control. And if he's living with her now, I bet you that he gets like a weekly allowance of $25 or something.
I mean, it just is what it is. It is life. You can't nitpick everything. You can't get everything you want, you know? You got to make hard choices, but like, you really can't nitpick things about other people, you know? You got to either accept people for who they are, what they have when you meet them. If they have a cat, it's not like you got a cat like at random.
Right. That's what frustrated me at the beginning about this so much, is like, the easiest choice is if you meet someone with a cat and you don't like support pet cats, then don't be with someone right away. Go find somebody else who doesn't have a cat.
Or try to even like conform to the cat. Like, oh, what was it? Our friend Jen, her boyfriend Paul at first didn't really like cats, care for cats, and then they got a cat together, and he loves the cat. Like, just
Right. That's what I think. If I dated someone who had a cat, Tyler really, really loves cats, and if it came to it, like he was able to keep them in his family home, which is where like the cats have always lived whenever we moved in together. But if it came down to it and those cats had to live with us, I always had that in the back of my mind. Like if they move or like something happens, like Tyler would be the one that would take in those cats. And I always knew that, and it wasn't even like a big possibility. And I don't like cats. I'm allergic to cats. It would not be a fun time to live with one. I would never in a million years even ask him to give it to a friend.
See, like my mom has this thing with cats. Like she does not enjoy cats, mainly because, and she don't even like cats in other people's homes, because my mom has this thing of like, she will not eat at somebody's house if she knows that they have a cat there, because cats get up on the counters and
my mom
all types of stuff. So yeah, because cats really have no chill. They'll get up on everything. You know?
And their hair is everywhere.
Yeah, my mom says she's fine. She's okay if somebody has a dog. My mom is a germaphobe, so she don't really want a cat or a dog in her house. She discriminates against all of them, so she's non-discriminating because she's discriminating against all animals. But
that's so funny because my mom is just like that, except she's okay with like, she doesn't like cats and she does the same thing with not eating and stuff, but she always says if it's not a cat or a dog, it's a creature, and I don't do creatures.
I love it. I'm kind of with your mom a little bit on that because I don't do birds or anything like.
Lizards.
I've always been a dog person, so I love dogs, and I am a dog whisperer. I love all my friends' dogs. I've always been the dog. I've been dog. But like, and I don't even mind cats if they're not mine. People have always asked me like, why won't you get a cat? Get a cat. And I'm like, I just can't have it wiping its ass on my counter. Like I've inherited that from my mom now, to where like I just can't think about it. I just
want to deal with the litter box. Like I know that there's like technological ones now and stuff that aren't as stinky, but like I don't know. I just like that dogs go to the bathroom outside. Like what the cool thing about cats though is you can leave them for a couple days.
Cats are super smart, and they're a lot less maintenance than dogs. And I will give any cat owner that. They're so self-sufficient.
Yeah, if I liked cats more and I was like, I got an animal like in my 20s, like my early 20s, it would definitely be a cat, just because it's a lot less responsibility. But I don't like cats, so I got a dog and I inherited the dog responsibility.
But yeah, if I was this man, I would run
so far away.
And I
think it's time that we get out of here, Chick Shatters.
All right. So on that note, we're gonna run ourselves.
Bye-bye.